Hey guys, it's Cowboy Dino, and I'm here with TeamRadburn.
And last night we watched the new Disney movie
Cruella.
Cruella.
Um, and we're just kind of going to be talking about it and sharing our reviews for it. Okay, so,
So I think the biggest thing about this movie that totally worked was Emma Stone. She's a great
yeah,
actress and she definitely killed it in this movie.
I would agree with that. I feel like all of the actors did very well with all of their, acting, but she did really well in acting like this, insane person who wasn't insane before, but then, became insane. Oh, by the way, spoiler warning.
Oh yeah. Well, and not only was Emma Stone great, but Emma Thompson was also really good as the
Yeah,
villain, the Baroness.
yes. She was very good at acting like she's better than everyone, which was kind of the whole character's point, and I thought she did a really good job with that.
And yeah, and she made for a great foil to Cruella, and it was what I found most engaging about the movie was the rivalry between these two fashion icons.
Yes.
Another thing I loved about this movie was just the style. The I
Yeah,
guess you would call it the directorial style. There was so much energy and different.
yeah. I would also say that I really like the newspaper. I don't think we put a picture in, but the newspaper,
When the
like,
text would come up on the
yeah, the
screen.
text would come up on the screen. All of like the flashy outfits and crazy like theatrics of the entire thing was really like different and cool.
Which, not to bring up a sore subject, but all the Disney live action remakes some of them have been very bland and very just a copy paste of the original movie.
Yeah.
This one did a spin in both the story, but also in just
I
the
mean,
directing. It
it was
was a,
basically completely original,
yeah, and it was
taking a
a,
character with no backstory or anything and giving her an entire movie.
yeah, it was distinct among the other live action remakes, if you would even call this a remake.
Um,
Another thing I enjoyed was how the movie kept sort of changing the status quo and how it kept giving you new information that made you reinterpret what you were seeing in the movie. So at the beginning, she just wants to make it in the fashion world, but then we find out that the Baroness was the one who killed her mom. But then we find out that the Baroness is her mom, and so that gives more suspense and just it keeps you going because you keep learning new things
because
and that
it's always a mystery.
yeah, and makes it a very engaging movie because it's always sort of adapting and keeping things interesting.
What did you think about the CGI?
I didn't have a problem with it. The only time that I noticed that was, so I know that some of the dogs were CGI. I
Yeah,
think that that was
the
fine.
Dalmatians, if they were CGI, they looked
Sometimes
a
they
bit
look
weird.
bad, sometimes they look fine. I think the only noticeable part where the visual effects sort of cracked for me was
on the lawn.
yeah,
when she
at the
pushes
end when they were
Estella
on the
over.
terrace, you could clearly see like overlooking the ocean, like the green screen lines.
Yeah.
Like it was that was where it sort of lost it for
So,
me.
what about the beginning of the movie with Estella? I really enjoyed the going from Estella to Cruella, and I just thought, like, the beginning of the movie when she's just trying to make it in the fashion world was really enjoyable, seeing her climb to the top and, succeed.
See, I agree with that, but I would argue, for me personally, it took longer into the movie before the movie really got me. Like, I wasn't hooked right from the start, but as it went on, it really got me.
Well, I disagree with you with that because I think it was really enjoyable watching her grow
Oh no, I thought
into the
that was
fashion
good in
world.
the story wise, but I think
And then
the
her
farther
not
it
being
got,
her not being appreciated, like, kind of goes into the Cruella thing. Her not being appreciated for all the work she's done for her,
oh,
for the
absolutely,
Baroness.
yes.
Um, so for Jasper and Horace.
Yeah, the side characters, they were great. I thought that was
Yeah.
they brought a nice humor, but also even like emotion to it. Especially
because
Jasper, he was sort of
Jasper was definitely, the more built up character.
yeah, and he was sort of the, I guess you could say, the conscience of Estella trying to tell Cruella what she was doing wrong, and you sort of felt bad for him most of the time because he's getting treated like trash, and I thought Horace
the whole like her saying I'm sorry, you're my family, that was really good. Actually, like seeing that she does care about them,
but not that
enough.
Much. Yeah, but I think with Horace especially, he was the main part of the comic relief, and while I thought there were a few like definitely laugh out loud jokes, I would say in a movie with this kind of style and stuff, I feel like sometimes the humor felt out of place.
Yeah, it did. It was only like the only humor that kind of fit in was the, oh yeah, I'm joking, I'm not gonna kill someone,
Yeah.
Because like, oh yeah, I'm not insane. How could that psycho be my mother?
Huh.
She says while looking like a psycho.
Exactly.
Like, that's the only humor that kind of fit in. The Horace and the Wink.
The dog,
right?
yeah.
The dogs.
They
didn't really fit in.
There was some slapstick that maybe felt out of place. Not terribly out of place. Like, I think there was still some quality jokes, but
even with the slapstick, even though it didn't really fit into the movie, it was okay. It was fine.
Exactly.
I was okay with that. Okay. So now we just want to say because this is before our overall score.
Oh wait, well I wanted to add one other thing just about the movie. A really big highlight of it, the costume design was really good.
All the costume. Well, obviously, it's a movie about fashion.
Yeah, but they really delivered. There were some cool looking fashion set pieces that were great.
Definitely. Like the entire look of the movie, I feel like that was really what sold me on it, because the entire style and look and just design of the movie, like almost like it's an animation, but they put it into like real life. Like they did fantastical designs, like the one where she goes out of the garbage truck and she has the big dress trailing behind her. Like that's pretty. Even though it's just clothing, it's like fantasy almost.
Yeah, the different montages
and it's
of
really cool.
Her fashion, her rise in the fashion world with the different dresses she wore were really cool. I feel like even just the costume design really helped, and the style, because maybe with just the story it might lose you, but by keeping it engaging with this great style throughout was a key element of what worked.
What about, we never talked about like the little like side characters, like John, right? That's
John, played by
Artie,
Mark Strong. Oh
yeah. Obviously, I'm forgetting their names, but the two in 101
Oh yes,
Dalmatians.
Roger and Anita. They were the somewhat out of place little like fan service setting up the original. But
I don't know. I thought that he was funny when.
Yeah, and that's another thing of maybe the comic relief feeling out of place. But I feel like some of that fan service we could have done without and made it feel even more like standalone. But none of these little
But it does fit in great
it.
in the post-credit scene that she gives them the puppies. Boom. It flows right into 101 Dalmatians.
Sort of, except it's changing things, which I had just rewatched 101 Dalmatians prior to this movie.
I had not.
And so I had the added context of, oh, this is a specific reference to the original. And they did certainly some creative liberties with some of that, but none of it ruined it for me.
What about John and then Artie?
I thought that, I think it was, this movie had some really solid supporting characters who stood out. So,
John was kind of weird, though, because he only proved useful at the end, He was...
Yeah, and I feel like
he was somehow fine with letting another tyrant, like, take over and then probably boss him around. Like, why was he okay with Cruella bossing him around but not the Baroness.
Yeah, that's a great point. I also feel like Mark Strong, who you might know as Dr. Savannah from Shazam, I feel like he was almost overqualified as an actor to play a small role like that, because I feel like he could have done more in like a featured role, but he wasn't bad, and I didn't think it was a terrible character. It was just sort of he was there, and that's it.
Yeah. I really did like the end scene though when everybody wore the black and white hair to the
Oh yeah, I think
gala thing.
Getting into the third act, the movie really amped up, and I was thoroughly engaged, and I thought it was, especially at the end there, it was tense, and it was cool.
And then like just the whole thing where she's slow-mo falling off the thing, saying, "Oh yeah," like her whole like justice.
Yeah, it was maybe a bit predictable once you got there. You sort of realized what she was doing, but I guess that's the fun of it, that you start to realize her plan, and I did enjoy that poetic justice, as she states in the movie, of, well, the Baroness pushed her mom off the thing, and now she pushed her off, and now she gets to go to jail.
Yeah, I think overall the movie was really, like, it was enjoyable for me, and also, like, you know, from a critic's perspective, I see the, like, good writing in it, and obviously the whole design and style of the movie was great.
So now this is going to be a bit of a nitpick, but it was one of my biggest negatives of the movie, actually. I feel like this movie relied far too much on licensed music. It felt like every scene was a song from the 70s. And I think what really made that bad for me was that I enjoyed the score. Like, I found that the actual score music was really cool.
I thought the score was great.
The score is composed by Nicholas Britell, and I thought that music was really good, so I felt like
the score was great.
Maybe the score could have better accompanied some of these scenes than a bunch of licensed songs.
I have a quarrel with you about that. I actually think that this, while the score was great, but the licensed music really gave it that, you know, it's normally the licensed music is that one boom moment where the main character's confident, and it's like, oh yeah, cool, I'm so cool.
Yeah.
But she was so cool throughout the entire movie.
Of course, which means that specific 70s sound contributed to the style.
And it contributed to putting you in the 70s. Because that could have been 2021. I mean, not 2021, but like 2017, if not for like the little details they do to like put you in the time.
Of course. Like, so yeah, I think I wouldn't say that the licensed music ruined anything for me. It just
I thought it amplified stuff. I thought it really brought out Cruella's like personality.
Yeah, I just got tired of hearing song after song for every scene, and I feel like maybe they would have had more impact if there weren't so many songs being used for every scene.
But the score was great.
Yes.
Like, the score was obviously very good.
Yeah, right from the opening intro with the Disney logos, I was already ready to go because of that cool music with it, you know?
So are we ready to move on to overall, or do you have anything else to say?
I would say, yeah, I just thought it was a movie that surprised me, and something I didn't have too many expectations for, it certainly delivered.
I was coming into the movie thinking it would be, you know, it'd be good, but not great. It'd just be, you know, a Disney live action. That's what most Disney live actions are, pretty mediocre, I'd say. Not, like, stunning or anything, but I was pleasantly surprised. Okay. Are we ready for overall?
Yes.
Overall score.
So, I'll start with mine first. I gave it a 7.8 out of 10. And while that may seem low, I'm not trying to be like, that's still over the 5 out of 10, you know? I think I really liked it, and I thought it surprised me, but maybe my biggest reason for rating it is somewhat low is just like, it's not a movie I'm gonna go back to that often. It's not something that just like blew me away, but it was like a really solid movie that engaged me. It had a great style throughout. It had really great acting and just a lot of good characters, good story. It was a movie I'm glad I watched and I look forward to watching again.
Um, and mine was a 9.1 out of 10, which even I think, like, compared to TeamRadburn's, was a bit high, but I really did enjoy it that much that I would put a 9.1 out of 10, because it it had great acting, it had great style, basically everything TeamRadburn just said, and I just thought that it was really good, and it gave backstory. If they could do this to like almost all of the Disney villains, the ones that didn't get that much backstory, if they could make a movie as good as this one for all the Disney villains, you would love all the Disney villains even more, because giving them that backstory really changes your perception on them. And even though I didn't even watch 101 Dalmatians before this, I think it was really good, and I think did it like capture the essence of Cruella de Vil?
I think in a lot of ways, yes. And I would actually, maybe it would seem too much like of a cash grab, but I would watch a remake of 101 Dalmatians with Emma Stone as Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, I would definitely watch that.
Like, that could be really interesting.
It serves up the question, how are you going to do the whole killing the dog thing? But, I mean...
Yeah, I think...
They could probably... Because they don't want it to be a complete copy and paste, right?
Oh, yeah, I think you could do something unique with it, but I would just really watch it for her version of the character to continue on her journey. Yeah, her version of the character
was great. And just the whole style of the entire film was amazing.
Yeah, and just the fact that this is sort of a Disney remake live-action thing, the fact that it was this good was surprising, and, I'm glad it was this good.
Okay. And this was our review on Disney's Cruella.
So if you feel like dropping $30 on Disney Plus, I would recommend it.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
If you can get out to theaters, I'm sure it would look great on the big screen.
Oh yeah, it would look so much better on the big screen. Like, just all the styling of it would look really good.
So yeah, this is a recommended movie. It's not gonna, in my opinion, it won't be the greatest thing you've ever seen, but it's a really solid movie that is better than you'd expect out of Disney remakes.
Yeah, Disney did really well. The style is great. I would definitely recommend it, and I think we're going to watch it again.
Probably
today,
yeah.
And we might make another video kind of
giving you our thoughts after a second viewing.
Yeah, after a second watching of it. Like if you agree, and comment if you've watched the movie, what you think of it.
And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Cowboy Dano for more movie reviews and also, gaming and whatever.
And also subscribe to Yucky Monkey, because that's TeamRadburn's better channel. Music channel. Okay.
So that was Cruella 2021 Disney.